what is my overall analysis of his program? It's better than I was expecting. Because like 6 months ago, don't train like him, it's stupid. Now I'm like, meh. Coach Greg, and today I'm going to be reviewing Jeff Nippard's new video titled, Full Body 5 Times Per Week, Why High Frequency Training is So Effective. So just to give you a background, I'm an exercise kinesiologist. So I have a kinesiology degree, my master's degree, okay? Jeff Nippard, in fact, did this training for a long time, like 6 months. He made a video, and I then made a video, and I titled it, Why You Should Not Train Like Jeff Nippard. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, well, he and Eric Helms, and I pronounce names all around, just don't shoot me if I don't know what his name was. He and Eric Helms had done a video, they were training together, and it was this new thing, you train your whole body every single day that you go train, and you try to get in like 5 days a week.
I actually train full body 5 days a week. I typically have one to two leg movements a day, and then 3 to 4 upper body movements a day, 5 days a week.
It's really interesting. I've never trained with quite exactly that style, but I'm going to after this.
So Jeff then did this for 6 months, and in his video, he goes over whether it's the most effective way to train, whether it's not. I watched it briefly at the gym, like when it first came out, like notification, I watched it, I'm like, oh, this should be interesting. I've had 200 plus requests. It is the most requested video of anything. It even out requests Jeff C. Natty or not. Everyone wants me to talk about Jeff Nippard's new program. So I'm gonna go over it. I'm gonna give you my impartial view, whether I agree with it, disagree. Is the science clear? Does it make sense? Is it possibly a good idea? Is it close to a good idea? Should you try it? Will I try it? Is it the new way of the future? What is going on with this stuff? What's the deal? So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to watch it, press pause, I'm going to talk about what he's saying. I'm going to agree or disagree. As you know, 95% of what Jeff says, I agree with. So we will see. How good is this new plan? Should you try it? Will I ever try it? Would I get my clients to try it? Right off the bat, Jeff points out, okay.
One option would be the push-pull leg split, where you're at least hitting each muscle twice a week, something highlighted in the scientific literature as being better for muscle growth.
It's kind of been shown that training each body part twice a week is the way to go. And that's, equating volume and so say you did 20 sets in a workout once a week. If you do 2 workouts of 10 sets each, it's going to be better for growth, okay? That makes sense. That is the newer research that's out. That's the model. That's what I believe. So rather than doing one body part a week, like it's chest day Monday, it's shoulder day Tuesday, it's arms Wednesday, it's legs Thursday, whatever. We don't do that now. It's better to do like a three-day split. They say push-pull legs, whatever, I don't care how you split it. You split your body into 3 separate days and you do it twice a week. That gives you 6 days in the gym out of 7. You're training your whole body twice a week. This is what I typically do, and it seems to be the most effective way for growth. He points and posts the research and it shows that that's basically how to do it. So then how do we go into the extreme of training 5 times a week? It's saying 1 to 3, and magically, he's now saying it's 5. I mean, wait till we see the extra research to prove this. But basically, the research is saying train each body part once a week, not as good. 2 or 3, better. And it shows that 2 is for sure better than 1. So how are we going to go to 5 is better than 2? It seems like 1, we know 1 is not enough. Then they go to 2 and they try 3. And they're like, yeah, the 2 seems to be about the best here. 3, maybe you could argue it. 4 and 5, it's so much past what we're doing that it seems like an extreme out there notion. It's almost like, oh, I know fasting is good for your health, so let's fast 12 hours each day. And then somebody's saying, oh, fasting is good. I know, we'll eat once a week. It's like so much longer. It's so extreme. Like, is there no happy medium here? Like, if Jeff had said, like, oh, I'm doing each body part 3 times a week, I'd be like, yeah, that seems to make sense. If 2 is really good, 1 is not as good as 2. Let's see 3. But it's so much, it's 5. It's like, Why? So I'm going to see, maybe he's going to point to some amazing new research that's going to prove us wrong. Okay, just some sciencey stuff.
I had another protein researcher reassure me that protein synthesis does in fact predict hypertrophy, an idea I personally think is more supported by the literature overall.
But just because there's research to say that muscle protein synthesis occurs when you train, doesn't mean you should train every single time that you can get this muscle protein synthesis. Because in the research he's showing, it would say every 12 hours or so that you could do this. And obviously, training twice a day each muscle, 7 days a week, is not going to be the most ideal way to grow muscle. If it was, people would do it. Mr. Olympia would do it. I would do it. If somebody said, Greg, it's guaranteed, Jesus himself comes down and says, Greg, if you train chest twice a day, 7 days a week, your chest will get bigger. I would do it. But it's not the case in the real world. Some of the studies that you see, it's not relevant in the real world. Just like all these dietitians that know everything about nutrition, why is it that half of them are obese? They know everything. They know more than me. They are smarter than me about nutrition. Yet I coach them on how to lose weight. How does that make sense? Because I have actual real world experience and have coached people and know what the real world does. Okay, so Jeff then supports his new training style by saying in 2012, a secret Norwegian frequency study was done. It's a secret study by Norwegians. That's kind of a cool word, Norwegian. It sounds smarter. It sounds like something we would copy. And it was with their powerlifting team to give them an advantage over the world so they would be all the strongest. And so let's see what happens with the secret study.
Now, because this study was originally designed to give their national powerlifting team a competitive edge, the results were never fully published, only presented at clandestine scientific conferences with one dusty abstract making its way onto the internet. But despite all its secrecy, I still like this study because it used very highly trained lifters.
Jeff likes this study. Why? Because it uses a group of competitive powerlifters. Okay, so that is important. We like that they're trained powerlifters who are like at an elite level. So in the study, they did one group, their whole body 3 times a week, the other 6 times a week, the same volume, and after 15 weeks, the one group that did it 6 times a week gained 10% of strength, and the other group only 5% of strength. That study, which isn't published, which isn't verified by any kind of verification system to get it published in a scientific journal, it would be equal to me saying, the Greg Doucette study. I'm going to give these people this diet and see in 15 weeks how much they lose weight. I'm going to give this people that diet, see how much they lose in 15 weeks. And then I'm going to decide if it makes sense or not. And then I conclude that this is the best. And I'm keeping it secret because it's the Greg Doucette study. It's not published or anything. And then some guy gets a hold of my research and then uses it to make a video to say that their way is good or the best because Greg Doucette did a study on some of his clients. You see how that's a bit sketchy? We don't even know exactly how the training was conducted. The same volume. Was the same intensity was it used? Did they train harder in one group than not? Harder! No. Did one group train too hard? Not hard enough? It's not just volume, it's other things we don't know about. Did they warm up properly? How did they set up their lifting? We don't know. And this is mostly for powerlifting, elite powerlifters for strength. Most of you are trying to be more muscular. You're looking for hypertrophy. This is more for strength. We just don't know. Don't know how it was done. It's too difficult. Now, Jeff is using researchers that he likes, that he trusts, that he puts faith on. Doesn't mean the rest of us would. And you can't just look at a researcher's score. The score doesn't really matter here. It's very wishy-washy. And for being Mr. Science, okay? Mr. Science, Jeff Nippard, far and away more research than me, more relying on studies, less on practical hands-on experience. I'm 44, he's 20-something. I've been doing this for 20 more years than he has, type of thing. He's going to rely more on the studies. So he couldn't find, with all his vast array of research, couldn't find real actual published literature to support his training theory on training 5 days a week. So he then went underground and found secret research from 2012 Norwegian project to support and back up his studies. Doesn't mean Jeff is wrong. No, it just means the research doesn't support it. To find one secret study that says it's a good thing based on powerlifters with, we don't know exactly how the training was done, it wasn't published, is that enough to conclude or say that the research says that you should do this, that it's the holy grail, it's the new French toast, it's the new bread, it's the new sliced bread? I don't think so, and I think Jeff would definitely agree with me on that. Okay, so then later on, somebody said, hey, let's see if we can replicate the study. So they tried to copy the study. They tried to do it again. They did it for 6 weeks rather than 15. They found no differences. So they couldn't copy the study and it couldn't be proven. So they tried to do like a scientific study to say, hey, does it work? No difference was shown, okay? So basically, he asked Eric Helms and he said, why do we do this like whole body workout? And it's so that you can spread out the hard work over several days during the week so that you have less fatigue volume occurring. Yeah, yes and no. Because if you're training your whole body every single day, you're going to have to hold back a lot. You're not going to be able to just push yourself all out on each muscle, as I said earlier. So this is practical advice for you right now. If you're training each body part once a week, train it more often than once a week. How much is more often than once a week? If you're doing, let's just pick legs. If you're training legs every Monday, you could improve your workout by training legs every 6 days. It's as simple as that. 1 day less recovery, 6 days leads to greater growth. That's it. One less day is an improvement. Progressive overload. Progressively getting to there. You could then go from every 6 days to every 5. And what are you doing in the meantime? Well, let's say you did 7 sets every 7 days. Why don't you do 6 sets every 6 days? And then, oh, I'm used to that. I'm going to now do 5 sets every 5 days. Progressive overload. Progressive, okay? It's getting, you're able to push a bit harder because you're only doing 5 sets rather than 6 or 7, and it's getting harder. Eventually, you might do, I'm doing my whole body twice a week. I'm doing 4 sets on Monday and 4 sets on Thursday, whatever. And you're doing 8 sets in a week, and you used to do 7, so you did 1 more. That's progressive overload. It might have taken you 3 months to get there. It doesn't matter. It's still progressive overload. As opposed to, I'm going to progressive overload. I do quads once a week. Now I'm doing quads 7 days a week. It doesn't have to be night and day difference, just like with your diet. If all you eat is pizza and garlic fingers and junk and chips and pop, you don't have to go to broccoli only and chicken on day 1. Slowly get into and adapt to your diet. Don't need a shocking change. That's my advice for you. Jeff then gets into 3 major points which he addresses in his video.
How well can we organize these 3 variables into a training week? In other words, does our split allow us to reach optimal volumes at an appropriate intensity while allowing for recovery? So let's start with volume.
So the research shows that volume for the week is best put at between 10 and 20 sets, okay, total sets for the week for a body part. So let's pick biceps. 10 to 20 sets of biceps in a week is the area that's where you should be. That's going to vary from beginner to if you're more advanced. Obviously advanced, you can handle more. Beginners should do less. And also the intensity. So if you're doing all your sets to failure, man, 10's probably plenty. If you train like a pussy, probably 20 is more important, okay? Obviously that makes sense. Everyone can understand it. What do I personally do? Roughly for a body part, 8 sets per workout, which I do twice a week on average for the average body part. That puts me at 16, and I train quite hard for those sets, often to failure. So that puts me in that range of 10 to 20. So general guidelines, 10 to 20. So why does he say his sets, his way is better? Because there's a ceiling in any individual workout. You shouldn't do more than 5 to 10 sets for body part. So obviously, if you're doing 1 body part a week, biceps, and you do 10 to 20 sets of biceps every Monday, it's too much. Science proves you wrong. You're an idiot. You're just training wrong. You're doing junk sets, wasted sets, just BS sets, garbage, wasting. You're just showing off because the girl's there and she showed up and you're at set number 8 and you want to go home. But you're going to do 2 more sets because the girl's there and you're training and you're like showing off the guns. That's what you're doing, okay? Better to split it up. But I don't think you need to go to training your whole body 5 times a week and doing 2 sets each day and making it add up to 10. The ceiling is 5 to 10. Why bring it down to 2? The ceiling is 5 to 10, a benefit of good quality sets you can do in a workout. 5 to 10, let's pick the low end number, 5. If 5 good sets is what you can do in a workout, and that's literally what I learned 20 something years ago in my degree. There's no reason to say, oh, I have to divide my workout into, I'm gonna have to train it 5 days a week so that I can do my daily, only do 2 hard sets each workout. The research is saying 5 is fine, okay? Next up, he goes into intensity. He makes a very good and sound argument as to why the full body workout is better.
Because I'm normally only hitting 1 exercise per muscle, I can really give that exercise my full focus and attention.
So Jeff basically wins in that argument that splitting up your workout for intensity is better than trying to get it all done in one day. But he goes to the opposite extreme and says to do it your entire body 5 days in a week, which is, to me, the opposite extreme. If your leg workout is too much in one day, and say you're doing 15 hard sets or whatever, split it up into 3 and do 5 on each day. Why do 5 days of 3 sets? If you want to do it, and that's what floats your boat gently down the stream, you know what I mean? Man, that even rhymed. Man, I'm good at this. Yeah, go for it. Do it. Try it. It's important to love it and like it and do it. And if it's making you happy and you like the program, we're talking about 10% difference. I'm just throwing out a number. I'm saying that training like Jeff's program is only going to be 10% less bad or less good or less awesome than training on a better program. So if you were to train like Jeff here, I think you're going to still get 90% of the gains of training. In my eyes, what's popular or proper, maybe not popular. Just like I think that training on a bro split and doing legs once a week, I still think if you do it hard and right and you're focused and you love training like that and that's just what you want, you've done it since 1982, since Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Is that the rhyme? Anyway, yeah, I think you can keep going for it and you're still going to get 90% of the results. I think we're trying to play with the little minute differences. I definitely think that the twice a week, maybe 3, is going to give you that 100% growth based on your ability to train hard each workout, how long you can spend in the gym, and how often you can get to the gym. And his third tip, recovery. So many people are going to argue and say, look, if I train my whole body 5 days a week, I won't recover from that. I disagree. I think you will recover because you're doing so much less in each workout. So I think Jeff is right here. He also talks about you're going to be less sore because you're only doing 1 set each day. I agree. I think that you're going to be less sore. If you do your entire workout and you're on a bro split, you do your chest all on Monday. And instead of that, you do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You split up into 5 days and you just do 2 sets each day of whatever your workout was. You're just not going to push yourself to the point of being as sore as you were. And soreness does impede performance. When I tell clients on their training, I judge their training, if they're like, oh man, I'm so sore from my leg workout, you went too hard. And I'm big on the train harder. So for recovery, I think you're going to be better off to split your workouts. But again, my argument is always this. You don't need to go from 1 time a week, each body part, to 5. 2 or 3, it's going to be enough. And if you're still too sore, you're going too hard, or you're doing too much volume on that day, back off. Perhaps his workout would work out more if you already don't train hard and you train the same body part over and over. And he says, look, you only got 1 set of chest today. Let's actually make it hard. Rather than just say, oh, I'm going to rest 1 minute between sets. I'm going to just go and that's like everyone trains like pussies and they don't put any effort. Maybe if they train their whole body 5 times a week and you say you're only doing 1 or 2 sets of chest today, go freaking hard. And then they train hard, but not crazy hard because they never do anyway, but they trained harder than last time and they do that all the time, they might get more gains. So Jeff makes a good argument here and he could easily use that argument to say, hey, this program's going to work for beginners because they don't train hard enough. I just see so many people slacking off the gym. He's already done studies. He's done videos showing that most people train with not enough intensity. Their reps in reserve are way too far back. They just don't put the effort. So if you're using that argument, Jeff, then it's a great argument to use. And I think that beginners could benefit from this routine. Maybe intermediates who aren't training hard enough. And maybe the people who really just overtrain and just don't know how to fix it, but I just say, hey, just do one less rep. It's so simple.
So is full body 5 days a week the best training split? I would say for me at the moment, yeah, I think it is.
And I believe it. For him, it is. He's bored of the same old thing that he's been doing for so long and wanted to change. You might also be bored. Even if your training is better than his training, if you're bored of it and don't want to do it and aren't going to show up, his training's better. So if you're bored and it sounds interesting and you would like to try it, I encourage you to go try it, do it, write me a message. Say, hey man, I tried his plan, it's awesome. Or I tried his plan, I just didn't like it. Just get into it, try it. If you're bored and you don't want to do what you're doing, try something different. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you love what you're doing and you like and you're getting gains, don't be like, oh man, Jeff just said that this is the newest way and it's the best thing since the sliced bread. You know, the whole French toast scoop. You don't switch programs. He hasn't pointed out any evidence to say it's better. He's basically found some secret information or secret research to say it might be as good, maybe, I don't know, kind of thing, but I like it a lot and it's awesome. So really, what is my overall analysis of his program? It's better than I was expecting. Because like 6 months ago, don't train like him, it's stupid. Now I'm like, meh. It's not stupid, it's just not ideal. But if it's motivating for you, then do it, because that's important. You might think I'm biased in some way, that I'm for or against certain. I'm not. I just tell you what I think. I don't filter, I don't care. I tell you what I think. And I think that his program for some people is going to be fun and exciting and rejuvenate your enthusiasm for the gym. I personally will never do it because I know it's not ideal for me. I might at some point try 3 times a week doing the same body part, like chest, 3 times a week. I will never go and train chest 5 times a week. Guess what I already did? When I was 17 years old, I trained chest 7 days a week because I thought, well, I need to do it more often. That's how you get better. I didn't have any knowledge. I tried it. I got worse. I peaked. I couldn't improve. And I did 1 set each day. 1. Not 0. 1. 1 set per day, and I peaked. My bench press was 293 for 6 exact months. I couldn't go up 1 pound, and I was training. 1 set. I was trying to do everything, and I couldn't get beyond it. And you know what I did? I quit. I stopped, and my bench went down to 242, I remember. I quit, and I did triathlons, and then I just stopped working out. Then I got back to the gym, and I bumped it back up to 348 pounds next. So I took that time off and I went to it, but I did get a bit fatter and I went to university and it was 348. Whatever. That's just some old side news. But anyway, I tried training my entire body every day. Not my entire body, but chest I did. And it plateaued me and I couldn't make any more gains. And that's as a 17-year-old. So, you know, it is what it is. Like, subscribe, press all the buttons. Watch everything all the time from me. Comment, like, subscribe, bell button, notifications, swooshes, all the fanciest stuff. Swoosh, you're notified. Watch the video as soon as it comes out and make a comment. GregDoucette.com, that's my coaching website. Greg Doucette off BB Pro. Follow me on Instagram. Type all kinds of stuff we debate. We write comments all the time over there. Watch my other Jeff Nippard video and watch another Jeff Nippard video because I'm all about Jeff Nippard videos, okay? He's my second favorite YouTuber after Jeff Cavalier. And until next time, I am out.